The Shug, Shane Hollister. Logan, Ineichen. Lyndon, Ehlers. Wrastlin with music and life. For life. Play double D's and tangential men. This is episode 3 of Wrastlin with technical difficulties. Wrestling with music and life. I'm Logan Ineichen, and I'm joined here with
Shane Hollister.
Lyndon Ehlers. That is not your name.
I know. I'm just going to say it anyways. AKA Shane Alatory.
I was thinking about how much I hate introducing myself on these shows. Everything. On my way up here, I was like, I don't want to have to fucking say my name, and then I just did it.
But, and again, the reason why it's okay is because there's a lot of people that reached out to me I know you don't know, right? So it's like every time they're probably going to want to know, like, wait. But then again, I did make a freaking intro that has our names.
It's true.
Yeah,
so
we probably shouldn't have to do that.
Maybe
anymore,
we don't
right?
have to do it, and it doesn't matter. We just cut all this out. It doesn't matter.
No, definitely leave it in.
I like the look on his face when he's Lyndon Ehlers. That's not your name. Like after I say my name, because obviously it's my wrestling name and not my real name.
Wrestling name. Wrestling.
I appreciate you committing to it.
Right. Oh my God, he does. So today, we're going to have a theme, a gimmick.
Yeah.
No, the gimmick of today is that we, first and foremost, and I'm going to allow Shug, the pro wrestler here, to explain what this is. The theme is getting over. Now, that is a saying in pro wrestling. Explain getting over, but also explain putting someone over, which is two different things.
So getting over is one of the things that it's, when you're first starting out, like I explain it like this, or even Lyndon, like coming out as a new band or a new artist, when you come on stage, sometimes you're playing in front of a brand new crowd that doesn't even know you at all. So getting over is when you have to finally win over the crowd, getting over with the crowd, making them want you and actually accept you. That sometimes can be tough because I've been at shows where I've walked out and nobody had a clue. And then you have to have that like same kind of like, you know, when you're back at home, you get pumped because everybody knows who you are, but then you go through a curtain in a place that nobody knows who you are, and you have this, you want to have that same emotion, and then they just look at you like, just nothing, you know what I mean? Like, they're like, we don't know who you are, dude.
Crickets.
For real. And then it's your job to get over, win the crowd over. And so putting somebody over is almost helping somebody get over. So you're putting them over by helping them get over. So
being selfless.
Yes, being selfless. So putting somebody over is sometimes like, it's not always doing the job, meaning like you lose. Sometimes putting somebody over, you don't have to lose. Like you can make somebody look like $1 million and they still lose. So like putting them over is really making them look good in the long run.
Shug had a awesome show last night.
Yeah.
A lot of people did that didn't even show up. There was almost a tornado everywhere. But
I was one of those people that didn't show up. It wasn't because of the tornado.
Me and Lyndon showed up in spirit.
It's all good, dude. It's all good.
We would have drank spirits. But anyway.
Sorry.
It's all right, man. It's Walcott. You want to drive all the way out there for 20 minutes? And the tornado was like, what, outside of Walcott, basically?
I've driven out to Walcott for some shit. Anyways, continue. I completely derailed it.
It's all right. But last night we had a show.
Can you give some examples of somebody who went over or got put over last night's show?
Okay. Example is somebody going over, putting somebody over was actually, I always like this example the best is a babyface versus a babyface, or a good guy versus a good guy, a hero versus a hero. That's the term babyface. Heel is a villain or bad guy. So a babyface last night was Dion Roosman versus Steve Manders. So, which is hard in front of our crowd because they really like the black and white. The shades of gray it's like an old school WWE crowd. The Shades of Grey is tough for them, so they have to pick a side, and sometimes that can be tough. And to have a good match in front of an SCW crowd, to be a good guy. And last night, Steve Manders, who's like traveling all over the place, and so is Dion at this point, just coming back from knee surgery. Steve put Dion over, but Dion's already kind of over anyways. But again, Steve's on a roll, and then Steve, like, they just had a really good match last night. Like, super good, dude. Like, it was awesome to watch. Yeah.
Man, that's awesome. So, Lyndon, hearing those terms now, what would you correlate those terms to being a live musician, putting somebody over and or obviously getting over as a musician?
I don't have any.
I was
gonna say musicians are too stupid for that amount of psychology. I don't know. No, well, it's like, dude, I don't have. This is the first time I've even been aware of that.
Right.
Like a.
And again,
But I mean, you talk. It's just when you're in that kind of a community with like bands that are just like kind of, not necessarily like fighting for attention, but I mean, I post about other bands that we're friends with that are really, that are good,
that is definitely putting somebody over.
But with, I don't know, I guess with us, it's wrestling has a word. You guys have a word for everything. So like, it's just, dude, it's just, I mean, we're just like talking, we just try to talk about bands that we like, that we play with and stuff. Like that Cannibal Cookout show we're playing in Galesburg is so many bands that we've played with and are like buddies with and stuff. It's going to be really cool.
Nice.
I think
I'm glad he actually did a plug, because that was what I wanted to tell you guys.
Yeah.
We suck at that.
Dude, terrible.
Shug literally had a show and didn't plug it one time in the last episode. So
not once.
You just knocked the plug out.
There it is.
Goodness.
Well,
that's smart, though.
I didn't say when it was.
That's true. He's talking about the show.
Hey, tell us when that is.
Well, I still don't
forget.
know every single band that's going to be on it, but it's this 2-day festival. It started out as 1 day, but it's a 2-day festival now in Galesburg, Illinois, in like an old steel mill in Willis.
Dang.
Dude, that's cool.
Like if this place was here, there'd be wrestling shows.
Oh, dude, that's awesome.
Every kind of thing like that. But it's this wicked, and it's all open, so there's people are like smoking inside, and they have like a barbecue.
Oh, that's
like
awesome.
The guy that runs the show, like, has like brisket and stuff. And
oh my god,
and it's literally just. And this year it's like Lividity and
I've
Elbow Deep, a bunch of these crazy ass bands that are headlining it. We're on it, obviously. Toxic Ruin, Putrid Pile.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man.
It's so crazy.
That's a good get.
It's super fun. The flyers are all over on my Facebook.
Okay, perfect.
Pitlord Facebook.
Yeah, but again, some people that are watching this don't really know.
Yeah, the Pitlord.
It's really cool.
Facebook.
And again,
it's the Cannibal Cookout. It's the second annual Cannibal Cookout and Jamboree.
That's what it's called. The second annual.
It's so good.
And what's cool is like I had somebody reach out to me that I definitely didn't think would ever watch this in his 70s, 60s. And he was like talking about the fact that theme was really cool, and direct messaged me like, "Hey, that's a really cool." He's a huge grill nut, so that's kind of where it is. Like,
that's cool, dude.
You have a awesome theme that people are gonna go, "Hey, man, that's pretty cool." I might not like death metal, but you're talking about grilling, and that's what I do every day and love. Now he's like a Traeger dude.
Yeah,
and
that's what I use. He's a Pit Boss. Same thing.
That's awesome.
Pellet smoker.
But this is foreign language to me. I have no idea what those are.
Yeah, it's kind of like if you put it's like an automatic kind of like charcoal grill, sort of. Like it uses burning things, but it doesn't use gas or anything. It has like a hopper that feeds these little wood pellets into it, and you can control the temperature, and you can smoke with it because it'll.
Holy shit, that's awesome!
It's super easy. Like it's still not as good as having like a big box smoker with like charcoal and whatever the fuck wood you're using.
Right.
But it's really, really easy and fucking cool. You smoke cheese and stuff in it.
Damn.
My dad smoked some cheese, dude. You ever had some smoked cheese?
No.
Holy shit. Oh,
Shout out
so
to
good.
Dale.
Yeah, like you think you're fat now. And smoked chocolate. He's like, this one's chocolate.
What?
Like, what? Yeah, smoked chocolate. It was, it looked like a
awesome.
turd. It looked like a turd or drugs. Either one. And,
What did it taste like, though?
Oh, like smoked chocolate.
Oh, my God.
Like
I
chocolate with like a smokiness. Like,
Oh my
remember
God, that
Black
sounds
Velvet?
Yeah.
Or the
I do,
The
but I
salted
don't.
caramel? Was it the
Oh,
salted
my God.
caramel?
High five for that. How many times did we get
man.
stupid on that?
Oh, dude.
Oh, my
like,
God.
No,
Yeah.
orange crush,
Yeah.
squirt, and then Black Velvet. Like the caramel black toasted caramel is what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, you man.
Hey,
we had a lot of
you
good.
want to fucking fall and scrape your face across the carpet tonight? Like, have some squirt, orange crush, and salted toasted caramel, Black Velvet.
That's a
That would be a
mouthful.
chronicle of
Dude.
a particular street called West
was-
2nd Street.
Yes.
It was like a Jägermeister hangover.
Oh,
Like, you
yeah.
know what that feels like? Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Deer blood.
Yuck.
Yeah, that's what it is.
So I want to circle back because obviously we got off the rails.
Yeah.
Who cares?
I think no, I don't. But I think that we have me knowing the terms and kind of knowing what they are. Shug hit it on the nail because it's exactly what I would have said. I'm not a pro wrestler, but I have been watching for quite some time.
Right.
But I would say because I know both the realms, meaning I've had to been on a stage, getting over as a musician. All right, maybe it's your first note. I don't know, but you can hear a tone, right? A guitar tone, bass tone, drum tone, and maybe you hear the sound check, which all bands have to do. That's probably like our most embarrassing thing is that we have to do a sound check and people are just standing there and you're just like, yeah, okay, this is about to happen. But getting over would be all those things together. To me, music and wrestling also is very subjective to the watcher.
That's
okay.
That's
So
what I was
my subjective nature as a musician would be if I go to see a band and I hear their guitar tone and I go, oh my God, this is already going to be super awesome. It's going to be, going to be fried chocolate or grilled chocolate or whatever you're talking about. Screw that up.
smoked chocolate.
Hey, this is going to be smoked chocolate. Anytime I ever went to a band that I already knew was going to be great, I was like, oh, okay, here we go.
Smoked chocolate. The name of the episode.
Yes, dude. That is it. That is
Smoked chocolate's going to be in the name of somebody's band. So, no, you go to a band that you already know is going to sound good. The best part would be maybe it's a band that you didn't expect. Me and Lyndon actually have one in mind, actually, where we went to a show and like, oh, man, this band I've never heard of. And they just sounded phenomenal.
Are you talking about Bent Knee?
You are.
Yeah, you guys like
cried.
knew you were there.
I cried at that show.
Well, I
And it
cried
had nothing
because
to
of
do with like the
leprous.
mushrooms that I'd taken like 3 days before. I wasn't at all coming down off of that.
Yeah.
I definitely bawled watching Bent Knee for the first time.
It was so good.
So good.
It was so good. I don't think you've checked out Benton.
No, I have not.
Shug.
I'm going to now.
dude.
I'm
Well,
going to now.
okay, so
It makes you make that orgasm sound.
Yeah?
right.
All right.
So that'd be a good example of where they got over. Where I was like, oh, they won me. They won you over.
Yeah.
Would be another way to say it, and like just a easier
in
way
that
to say it.
case,
Yeah,
right?
it's like to say that.
Is there an objective side of it for wrestling? Because I feel like there is. Because
Yes.
you're
Yeah.
Not getting
you're
over?
getting past.
Yeah.
Because in wrestling, so much wrestling has to do with like suspending disbelief in a sense.
Yes, right,
Because
yeah,
it's
definitely.
a show. It's a play.
Yeah. No, definitely.
There's characters and stuff. So I have to. I might not like your character, but if you won me over that I believe and that I'm like behind what you're doing,
Right.
I feel like that doesn't exist for bands all of a sudden because all that stuff that you talked about for a band
Yeah.
could be true, and I could still be a douchebag as I would see it, but like I could still
Yeah.
be somebody else that is not looking for that.
Right.
It could give a shit less about the tone or how well they perform and all those things. Like
So that would be the subjectivity of a musician seeing other musicians, and that's how I perceive.
I don't think it has anything to do with being a musician or not. I'm just talking
Right.
about a person's
Yeah.
personal tastes.
Yes,
in
their personal
music
taste as well.
are gonna typically, I think, can trump that more so than wrestling.
Okay, you hit on exactly.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
if in that scenario, somebody came to a metal show, like you're playing a metal show, and there was another type of genre. We played those shows before. I literally played with a rap group one time.
That happens when you play in
in Quad City, right? You play with who you can play with. So if somebody comes to the show and they go, oh, I showed up here and I hate metal, right? But you play a song and for some reason that person gets into it, that would be getting over.
Yeah.
Like you got yourself over.
Yeah.
So I guess that's objective. Like if you win somebody over who doesn't even like metal, but I'm not saying that happens.
I would still say that person, that there was probably some sort of unbiasedness in their
right, like they came with friends or something.
They probably are prone to like something that's very different. I'm saying it's so person to person.
Right.
In those, I would hope that people would look at a band and see how they set up and how they sound and how well they do and get over whatever the genre is.
For sure.
Right.
I would hope that that's how everybody is, but it's not. I mean, there have been plenty of times where I saw a really good band. I was like, they fucking suck dick.
We don't hate on
they were
this
so
channel.
fucking stupid.
Like
and then
Landers.
opposite times where I walk out of a place and I'm like, those guys are really good, and everybody's like,
you weren't expecting it. Yeah, you're like what? You liked them? That was the band you liked?
Way.
Which probably for sure happens in pro wrestling where people
all
come
the time.
Yes,
again, I think what it is, this is the objectivity. It's performance based. So say for instance, if you have somebody who literally doesn't know a note, a lick, nothing on an instrument, comes to, which is probably the majority of people that go to concerts.
Yeah.
But he comes in there, she comes in there, and they're like, oh, wait, I'm picking up on something here. And maybe it's not even the instruments. Maybe it is the people, like their authenticity, right? Like a great front man, obviously, is what a go-to is. Obviously there could be, that doesn't mean just the vocalist, by the way, because a lot of people hear frontman and they're like vocalist. No, it literally could be a guitar player, and it could be like Adam D. Think about that from Killswitch. That guy is not the frontman, right? No. But it seems like he is because he says some of the funniest shit.
Well, he found a pocket,
right?
Which exists in a lot of other bands. I mean, anytime we were in a band with Derek, like he would not be the lead vocalist, but he would be like the guy on the microphone.
Exactly. And we did
sorry, when we figured out how to do it, it really worked.
Oh yeah,
because Dearborn didn't like to do it, so
Yeah, see, again, he was the vocalist, but Dearborn was he really the?
I will say when Dearborn did one show for that Cunt Gurgle band.
Yeah,
see that?
No,
they were a band like when we were in high school, and probably I think they broke up and then got back together, and Dearborn did vocals for him for one show and like fucking murdered. And it was like crazy grindcore, and he was so good. And was very like, I remember him not saying a lot between songs, but it totally made sense for what was going on there, and it was perfect. And I was like, oh, Dearborn needs to be fucking singing for a goddamn fucking grindcore band. That was so cool.
And sometimes that might be the mystique, is somebody who doesn't really say anything, but has like a look to them, and you're like, whoa, man, I gotta watch this guy. I don't know what he's about to do. Like, I'm just trying to think off cuff. I'd probably be like Howard Jones. It's not like he's the greatest frontman ever, but when I'd watch him live, which I've seen Killswitch like 90,000 times in my life, I'd see him, and he just had a mystique about him because it's just the way he looked and the way he was feeling it. And his performance might not have been silver-tongued devil, I guess is what I'm saying. But, there is that. Like, in my opinion, of course, and I'd like to talk about this a little bit later, Pantera had 30 years, Vulgar Display of Power, last week. One of the greatest albums, in my opinion, of all time. But one of the best frontmen I've ever seen. Now, I seen him in the band Down, which this is a perfect segue. I didn't like the band. And my brother just said, I'm taking you to House of Blues. You are gonna watch Down because I don't want to go by myself. I'm like, okay, whatever. I didn't have much to do, obviously, because I didn't give a crap. Yep, Chicago. Yeah. I was like, Down, whatever. And, this is a while back, and I couldn't tell you the year. But I go there, and I slot up at the bar, House of Blues. And it's, you can see the stage and whatever. Yeah. And there's something about seeing a guy, Phil Anselmo, who obviously I grew up with. I had to, obviously get up, but I didn't get close. I didn't get in. I was like, I don't really care about down. And as soon as he started talking, I everything just flooded, and I'm like, I like down. I don't even care. I don't even care.
Dude, there it is.
I don't even care what they're going to play. Like, and again, when you listen to the album, and a lot of people don't have this perspective as a musician, you try to think about how a live show would be as a musician, and especially as somebody who's written, I think, oh, this part would be cool live when I'm writing it. And Lyndon would attest to that. But so it broke into, I think they broke into, I don't even remember, but it's a song I've maybe heard one time, and I'm like, I'm moshing. It was awesome. It was amazing. He got over. Okay?
Yeah. Well, and dude, he's been over. Okay,
he's been over.
That's what I'm saying.
Again, this is where Shug corrects me. He's been over for a long time.
For a long time, dog. For a long time.
The band was not over, in my opinion.
The band,
again, which is subjective.
True.
So my subjective opinion was like, oh, they can't win me over. They won me over, bro. Big time. Amazing musicians. They sounded exactly like I thought they were going to sound. Amazing. And, it made me move. And it wasn't a groove that I cared for. I liked maybe like one song, which was like Ghost Along the Mississippi.
That one was because big for them.
It's so hooky. I mean, you could not like that style at all, and you have to admit that that's hooky, right?
Yeah, dude, that song was really good. Yeah.
And so when they played that, I was already, that's probably later on in the show, which they know how to write a story. Another correlation to pro wrestling is to how do you write your story? You got to know what song is legit, probably your hookiest song, and you got to know where to place that because there's a come down and then there's a rise up. There's a go home.
That's what I call it is like when you go to a fireworks show, it's the grand finale. You're going to give them the big bang at the end.
I was thinking about that when I saw Nile in
Yeah.
Iowa City just a week ago.
Did they play at Wildwood?
Yeah.
We wrestled there.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. That venue's place, that is awesome, dude.
But they had Nile had a really good set, but it was weird. Like they played. So there's a later song of theirs called Fourth Era of Dagon, and it has this crazy like dun, 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 dun.
All right, get me
that
going.
kind of like crowd chorus going on. Like it's just super chanty and epic and huge. And they played it second to last, and then they played Dark Seeds of Vengeance, which is like 2.5 minutes long, and then the show was over.
Really?
It was so weird. It was so weird. Like, oh, it's Black Seeds of Vengeance now. I'm like, oh, cool. Like, everybody's waiting for that, right? But it's, like, right at the end of the set, and it's the shortest song in the set. It's over, and they didn't do, like, an encore or anything.
You would have thought they would have flipped those, maybe, right?
Because that is an ender song. And I was really surprised they even played it, because they have a lot since that album came out, whatever, right. But...
So that's a good question. You and Pit Lord, you and Dan are thinking about your story, your theme of
we heavily consider the set.
Right.
We have to though because it's all on a track.
Yeah.
It's all programmed, so we have to we have to know what's coming up, but we have the metronome in our ears and everything.
Yeah, which is super impressive.
It's really kind of crazy. And he was the one that fucking figured out how to do all that.
Yeah. It'd be really nice to go to a show.
Yeah.
Sorry.
They're fucking happening.
I'll get to one.
Hey, all right. Again, say it one more time. When's that show again that you were just talking about? Your next
May
show?
6th and 7th.
Okay.
In Galesburg, Illinois.
Okay, I gotta check my dates.
I think they have to announce more bands still. There's like 30 fucking bands.
Damn.
Yeah, I heard Morbid Angel's going to be there. Just throwing that out.
Just throwing that shit out there.
It's a secret guest.
Levidity's super fucking cool.
I was going to say,
always.
And they've been around for a long time.
These dudes we partied with at Full Terror Assault, they have a band called Scab Hag. They're playing this year, and it's really cool.
That's a sweet name.
They're fucking dope.
Hey, you want to know what we're doing right now?
What's that?
Putting these vans over.
People over, brother.
Putting these vans over, bro.
So I guess, that well, that was what we were going to, Shug. I was going to say, if you could name something or someone, it doesn't have to be a band, that you want to put over during this podcast, that'll be part of your your thing. I think we should
Watch this. I'm going to kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
Well, we should do a local one.
Okay.
As well as whatever you want to do. And Shuggy, kill 2 birds then.
All right. Right now, I'm going to put over one of the young guys who's coming up right now. And he's got a world of talent. Just a world of talent. Conan Lyken.
That name is dope.
Yeah, right, dude. And he's a big dude who can throw people around and do all the stuff Colby can do.
Okay.
All the flips and stuff, everything. But he's like a bigger dude.
Right.
So, like, he played football in college and shit. Like, he's a big guy. And Conan's got a world of talent. Like, he's still new in the business, but he's got so much going for him. And I just see so much potential. So I'm putting you over right now, Conan.
Conan Lyken.
And then second, and then I get to get my plug in for my next show, is Stephen Wolf. And that's my next opponent in AAW, March 19th in Chicago at the, what is it? You have to look it up. AAW.
The plugger.
Yeah. So, anyways, it's March.
At a place.
Yeah.
Someplace.
Logan Square. Logan Square. It's funny. I should remember that, right? Because of the name. But
you're a fucking.
So, anyways, no, I'm putting him over because he's a young guy who got hurt real young, like literally broke his neck.
Yeah.
So,
man, really?
Yeah. Yeah. And like, we already had a built-in story, which is really cool. So they,
he didn't happen to win an Olympic gold medal.
No.
Oh, okay.
Now with a broken freaking neck.
Sorry, dude. It was low hanging.
No, but for real, dude's in fucking fantastic shape, and he has got a really good mind for the business. So, I'm going to put him over, and I'm excited to work with him on the 19th. Like, coming back from a neck injury, the story's already fucking told, like I said. So,
man.
There's a band from Cedar Rapids called Frontal Assault. We played the third Pit Lord show we ever played. We played with them in Iowa City. They're fucking dope. They're super young, like thrash kids. And
Nice.
Dude, yeah, they did an Annihilator cover. It was perfect. Yeah, they covered fucking Alice in Hell. Allison!
No way, for real? That's freaking cool.
Good. Oh, they're fucking rad. And we're playing with them on a show soon. It just hasn't been announced yet. Nice. And then Pit Lord's playing March 23rd with Lich King and Stonecutters in Moline.
I've heard a little bit about Lich King.
Oh, you're playing the Beers Dude?
Maybe?
Yes, March 23rd. I don't know if I have a show that day.
I hope I didn't play a show with that band, and now I'm just forgetting it. But
no, I don't think I have a show that day.
I don't think he played. I don't.
Okay.
No, the Horde was on like the same label as them.
Oh, okay.
For a bit. Because I remember that was the only thing we knew about that label. It's like, oh, Lich King's on that label.
Dope.
They're really cool though. And then we have a couple other things booked that haven't been announced yet. I just don't remember everything. And then like non-band, non-music, I was going to say Murder Machine Clothing, our buddy Jason Murder. He's the one that does like our patches and stuff.
Sweet, dude.
He does a lot of really, like, he's really, really, really cool with fucking like smaller bands and like doing merch and like cutting you deals and stuff. He's fucking rad.
Okay.
And super chill dude. And he does like, he sets up like vending tables at shows too and sells. Like, he's selling Pit Lord patches and stuff.
That's fucking genius.
Yeah,
dude.
and he sells like his own like Murder Machine Clothing brand and stuff, and it's all really sweet. And he's super rad, dude. And like, I literally just to do Pit Lord patches. I just like do some of these. And
is he local?
He's Illinois, Chicagoland area.
Okay.
I don't know exactly where he's from, but he sets up.
I'm probably gonna hit him up one day.
Yeah. He's super cool. Murder Machine Clothing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I can't remember anyone else. Just go to the Pit Lord page for anything we're doing. Stuff. We're gonna put ourselves over.
That's right.
And you can
do it.
I mean,
bro.
there's no rule there. I would say I'm gonna put somebody over who put you guys over and gladly would put me over, brother. And it kills 2 birds with one stone, which is Trevor Goodall. Talking about him earlier, that dude, you are awesome. Continue, please, to do what you do. And a little background, if some people viewing this don't know, he basically has a local show called The Local Stage.
Yep.
And it is also a podcast, an audio form. And Shug and Lyndon have also been on this, been on his podcast. And he's just been a good dude ever since I've met him 12, 15 years ago or whatever. So I'm putting you over, brother. And that's, again, that's a wrap on that. I think that's pretty much what the episode's it's going to be that anyway.
Right.
Guys, we put people over. Sorry.
Always.
Okay.
I think that's what we do the whole episode, kind of.
I mean,
Every episode we're putting people over, right?
mention all kinds of. I mean,
Well,
literally go.
I guess we could undercut guys and just like totally like, no. I would never put that guy over.
Don't bother with
Fuck
this guy.
that guy.
No, I can't. I couldn't possibly.
Right. That's the Midwest in us.
I think so.
We want to talk shit, but it has to be a unanimous person that everyone hates, and then we're okay with it.
Yeah, it's totally fine.
Yeah, there's honestly not a lot of people I can think of off the top of my head where I would even be like, fuck that guy. Like,
right.
Anybody, and if I were to say anybody, nobody would be surprised, and, but I'm not.
I mean, you can.
Right. Wait, no. I can't think of anybody really.
Right.
I just don't have problems with people, and if I do, I just avoid you. It's easy.
Yeah, there you go.
You just stay the fuck
Did you
away.
see that meme I put up the other day? Alicia liked it, and the meme said, and I thought it was hilarious, and it's perfect. It's like, you getting offended by reading something on the internet is like stepping in dog shit on purpose, knowing you could have just stepped around it. Like you getting offended by something you read, just stop reading it. Just, avoid it.
And again, I mean, with this, even like some people get offended with us just being how we are, and that just to me is hilarious. Whatever, man. All you have to do is stop the thing right now and go somewhere else.
Yeah, you don't have to watch.
Literally.
I'm gonna sit and watch this entire episode so I can shit all over these guys at the end of it.
Get out of the Wendy's bathroom. Finally, rejoin society. Stop watching our podcast.
Oh my God.
Jacking off.
For real. Or it's like somebody's taking their lunch break, like, fuck these guys.
Right.
We haven't said anything. Who cares?
I know it's true.
No.
but
I'm just saying that there's people that just that's
you
just
can't
how they
win.
live. Bro.
You can't get over with everyone.
Yeah,
you never
exactly.
can.
Exactly.
And this is the reason that
Can't please all the
for
people
the
all
longest time. For the longest time, I have avoided like forums because I read one forum one time and it pissed me off so fucking bad. It said I had a match with ACH, who's a fucking great wrestler. And in that match, like, no joke, 95% of the ideas were mine. And, like, somebody had the fucking goal and the fucking nerve to get on a forum and go, yeah, Shane Hollister's good, but he can be led. Bitch, I put that match together. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, for real.
Dude, it's the same. That's like when you're a musician, don't read reviews.
Dude, yeah.
Right.
I remember there was one review when we were when I was in Helm Splitter, and it was this guy like overall was happy with our record and stuff, but there was like one song that this silly intro on it. It was kind of weird, and like in the review, he literally goes, because he was one of those guys that write reviews like song by song.
Wow.
Right? Like way too in depth for this guy who was nobody, and he got to this one song. And he's like, I fucking hated the intro. It was fucking stupid. And that was it. That was all he put for the song. And I remember, like, it was like, oh, fuck. And I remember, like, Ross is super bad. And then we're like, okay, let's just not read anymore. Read reviews.
Dude,
like,
it's a killer. It's a killer. It's a buzz killer, man. I was, like I said, I read that review. And I was like, I'm never going to do this again. Because first off, these fans think they know shit.
Right.
Like, a lot of people, like, think they know stuff. Like, I'm like, no, man, like, I've been doing this for a long fucking time. You have no idea. And a lot of guys who are even more over than me everywhere else, at least they have the respect to know that how long I've been doing this. And ACH was, at that time, like, blowing up big time.
Yeah.
But I had wrestled with Albert so many times before, and like we had common respect for each other. So like we bounced ideas off each other, and like I had so many coming in the match, like I said, and then to read that shit is like, oh man, maybe we'll put my fist through that person's face, and that's why I just stopped reading.
The person who literally does not know, though.
They have no clue.
They don't know.
And then like
back to what I was talking about, that intro was really fucking stupid. Like, it was awful. It was like my least favorite part of the record. But yeah.
Good.
You gotta ignore the shit, though.
Yeah, dude, you have to.
What's the point?
You can't get over it with everyone. There's always going to be like two assholes because the internet gives everybody a voice. Two assholes, three assholes are like, I think he's okay, but like, he's not that big of a part of a show, and it's like, shut up, just shut up, just stop talking. You're stupid.
It's literally just somebody's brain going off.
It is, dude, and it's like, oh my god,
that's what happens on the internet. It's just brains let loose, just going like all the whole time. Nobody's paying any attention to what they're saying, so and
then of course I pay attention to that one stupid fucking comment.
Oh yeah, and I still see stuff too. Like I'll see comments like random people leave on our like Facebook ads, and there was one guy that was like, guy just comments. He goes, "Barbecue death metal, pfft, I'll pass."
He found my comment.
I was just like, if Barbie goes, "Oh fuck you," how? I don't even understand. I wouldn't know how to respond. Then the other part's like, he took the time to like leave that comment, for no fucking reason.
Yeah, just to be.
He was annoyed by it,
dude.
He probably didn't even listen to anything or whatever. He just saw our picture and was like, ugh, and I got over it in like 10 seconds.
Again, the fact that he took that time to even post that is like,
it's funnier.
It's like, you didn't have to say anything, obviously.
I'm a lot less worried if I was at all. Of what I said,
right.
So there is a flip side to that coin. The flip side is, especially, for our art, hard to say, if somebody is somebody you respect and then they shit on it. And that's kind of happened to me before through just kind of, especially like early on when I was trying to learn how to like sing. And then, some of my buddies who will remain nameless were like, "Oh, we don't want you to do that." And I should not have taken offense to that.
There's a reason he's laughing right now.
There's a weird thing with.
It wasn't me. I was around.
But I thought you were laughing because it was you.
I thought it was you. It wasn't me.
Okay, so objectively, I sucked horribly, but subjectively, in my head, I was great. Think about that. So
right, you have to believe it, bro. You have to believe it, because if you don't believe it, they're not going to believe it.
But again, when I was trying to sing or trying to find a singing voice would be the best way to say it, I was a very young person. I was actually a teenager, so my voice was actually changing, right?
Yeah.
So there was a a moment where I was like, oh, okay, I can actually do things now, and that didn't happen until I was like maybe 20 or something like that. And the opportunity of having a band with a singy feel instead of doing death metal is what I'm talking about. Well, that kind of wasn't at the time something that I had a choice of doing. Nobody was doing anything. So I guess what I'm saying is the flip side of the coin is when someone you respect is like, "Hey man, you fucking suck." Then you don't go like this. You don't go, "I'm done."
Right.
What you do is you take it, right, and you go, "Hey, you know what? I'm gonna get better, and I'm gonna practice, and that's kind of where And again, I've had other situations. I'm just curious if you guys have. I know, and again, to flip it back to Lyndon, I mean, we tried to get him to do things on bass that human beings should not be able to do. When I first met him, I'm like, "Bro, you have to do this," and he'd be like, "Whoa, what?" And then, and you do it, and again, props to you. But I don't think that was something you intended to do. You were like, "I'm kind of hoping I could do something that I'm gonna be able to do." And those songs were just 3,000 miles per hour, especially when we're talking about cuneiforms right now. But I don't think I was also, again, I think it's a little more naked, the vocal, as opposed to guitar and bass is a little more straight up. You're either good enough to do it or you're not, right? So I don't know if that's happened with you guys where you've met somebody who said, "Hey guy, you're not playing that correctly, or you're not doing something in pro wrestling."
Right.
And it just crushed you a little bit, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, "Oh, I have to get better."
I have a prime example of that, actually. One time I went to do something It was on a show. Instead of doing it in like, before the show or something, like I went to do it and it looked like a total shit. It looked terrible. And a guy I respected, again,
Right.
Jimmy Jacobs, walks up to me and he goes, "Hey, if you can't do something, don't do it." I was like, dude, perfect. Like, I'm never going to just try something on a show ever again because, well, just don't try it because if you can't do it, you look like a piece of shit and look dumb.
I didn't get that. Well, no, never mind.
It's very similar.
We did have that moment where we were recording with Steve Ripley, and Steve Ripley's like, "Hey, do you know about vocal intonation?" And I was like, what's that word? And I got so scared because in my head I'm like, dude, I'm in a professional studio and he's got me doing this thing I've never done. I've never recorded vocals professionally.
We were in a professional studio, but it wasn't like Steve was recording huge professional artists all the time.
Right.
Because he was letting 18-year-old kids.
For real,
we're talking about somebody who we respected so much.
Yeah, totally.
He graduated from Berklee School of Music. And his mind,
he wasn't really doing a whole lot at the time.
Right.
He wasn't really, or now still.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's doing now. But he wasn't. He wasn't. It's not like I said. We had no reason to really be super nervous. I just didn't want to run into one of his keyboards.
You know what? Exactly. We should really.
And he was super smart. Also, he taught me a lot about.
I think we both should put him over, Steve Ripley. If you're out there and you're listening, because that dude, he basically changed my whole perspective on music. I was like, what? Well, you can make money and stuff.
Well, see, I didn't even. It wasn't even like that for me. I learned right away what how you actually recorded music, at least what I was going to be doing.
When he was like, "Hey, do you guys use a metronome?" And we're like, "How do you spell that?"
Yeah,
what?
I was so freaked
Metronome?
out.
What are you talking about? Blow me, homie.
Fucking record?
Yeah.
While I record? What the fuck?
Like, you guys can plan out the BPM on here, and you're like, BPM? What? So, we're probably, I think I was 17, 16. I don't know. So we're pretty young at that time, and we're kind of just, again, just getting knowledge from a god to me. Yeah. And he said, "Hey, man, you need to get better." And really what he was saying was, you have to double your vocals.
Right.
You don't have to nowadays, but it's probably wise to do so because you get at least, most people will. You try to do the same performances in layman's terms, because some people aren't musicians or have never recorded.
Exactly.
So if I say have never recorded, another track comes up and I go, have never recorded, and I do it exactly on the beat or, whatever you have set up. So he was basically saying, "Hey, man, hey, kid, get better. You fucking suck." Without saying like that. He was super nice, of course. And then after that, I practiced that. I pride myself now on doing a take and being able to do the same thing. And it's not something you can just acquire. You have to practice that.
Yeah.
But Lyndon, has anybody ever shit on you respected? I think this is already.
This is great, actually. This is perfect.
Well, I was thinking about it. I don't think I can think of anybody. Anything like that ever. I've had plenty of people shit on me, but people I respected.
Yeah.
Looked up to.
I don't know.
Probably not.
Saying shit on. I just mean maybe you can do this technique, or maybe live.
Giving you kind of a pointer.
Not necessarily. Not, at least I never took it like that.
Okay. Lyndon's perfect, ladies and gentlemen, as usual.
But again, though, there are guys,
I couldn't, because there have probably been times where somebody was probably criticizing me harshly for something, but I don't remember.
Oh,
so it's nothing that stuck out, and it couldn't have been anybody of any real importance.
I'm trying to think if I did anything with you. I'd say
I've just always been trying to get
right,
because I know when I suck, and I know when I've sucked in the past. But I'm just always getting better because I also know what it looks like to suck.
Right.
And so I don't know. I can't think of a time where there's probably somebody where somebody gave me tips on EQing my signal or something.
Technical
but that, again, it was always just thank fucking God, because it sucked before then.
Right.
But that was it. nothing.
Wasn't
nothing
like they
that hurt
shit.
my feelings.
It wasn't like they shit on your playing or your your technical
All right,
skills.
let me do it right now.
I'm sure somebody has. I'm sure somebody's talked shit. Whatever. I don't.
But it's somebody
care.
that you respected that actually walked up to you and tried to.
Nah,
it wasn't like
no,
what we're saying shitting on is like really they're coming up to you and trying to help you. in the long
Right.
run.
I mean,
Right.
I've walked up and talked to people that I thought I would respect and had been disappointed. I mean,
Okay, so that's kind of the thing.
But never where it was like they shit on me or something. I don't know.
By your
I'm lucky,
technicality.
I guess. Nobody. I don't know. I've been lucky. There's probably been people that have said shit, but not to me, which is fine with me.
So I guess and again, that's
suck
kind
my
of
dick. I don't care.
this is where I'm going to say something, and I think that it's true.
Okay.
Might not be. You're your worst critic, Lyndon. Like I'm my worst.
So
critic.
am I.
So we're our worst critic. So there's really not much somebody can say to you you haven't said to yourself. Maybe you're practicing a lick you just wrote, and you're just so, oh God, I can't do it. But you tell yourself you can, and that's kind of where me trying to tell myself things like, starting this podcast is a great example because I was like, hey, I don't think I can do it. No, we're doing it.
Yeah.
Right? That's kind of where you have to pick yourself up.
Yeah.
There's so many riffs that I come up with, especially on guitar, bass too, but I'm just like, I know I can't play that. Like, I know I can't play that, but it's in my head. And then you continuously practice, and eventually you get to that point and you play it, and maybe it wasn't what you thought, but the fact that you just kept going until you got it. Yeah. And that's kind of where, musicians are their worst enemies, just like pro wrestlers.
I think that I read somewhere, even though I'm kind of put this band over, they were young and they basically wrote a whole album and not even being able to play it from what I read. Protoss to Hero's first album, they weren't even able to play a lot of that shit at all physically. They had to push themselves.
Cuneiforms ever read.
Right.
Speak for yourself, brother. If Derek was on this, he'd be like, okay.
Of course.
At least could not agree on it.
But again, there was those bands who basically wrote music that they couldn't play yet. Like there were one that just popped off in my head because I remember listening to them. And I was like, dude, this shit is kind of crazy. Like musically, it was kind of nuts actually, especially with the guitar work and that.
So that's kind of the modern musician too, is that now you don't necessarily need a band. I still think that, live, it is nice to see a band, but live, you don't have to have a full band. So, you obviously you're a prime example of that, Pit Lord, but we've talked about that. But I look at it like when you're in writing mode, you can write basically everything now. And there's things like Easy Bass that help me, because I'm not a bass player that can slap and tap, but I love slap and tap funk, / jazz bass. And I can't do that. I can't do that at all. I mean, the fact that I can do anything and I don't,
let's put that over.
If you don't know, yeah, I should put over my broken finger.
I really put over the guy that snapped it back in place and
yeah.
Just because we thought it was dislocated, that's the worst
he didn't
part.
Snap anything back.
No, he crushed it. Crushed it.
Brother crushed the brother.
And then your brother passed out, smashed the wall.
Well, and again, we have so many things to say, like as far as, what we have with our art. And again, I think it comes down to that. We are our worst enemies.
Yes,
that's
for sure.
what makes a really great artist. If you like, okay, I'm trying to think of
Is
a
this
band.
us sitting around going, we're such great artists?
No. Honestly,
no.
the opposite. Because
I think
every
that's
time
another part of that is me going, I want to be a great artist, though.
Right.
Like I actually want to be, but I don't think I am.
when I watch,
If I'm being objective, I'm not playing in a band, so how could I be? But anyway,
but when I watch my own stuff, I guarantee I'm watching it and thinking the worse than most people are. I'm like, man, that looked like shit. Man, that looked like shit. Come on, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah.
There are just times where I'm like, oh man, that was so sloppy.
If you want other people to think so, you owe it to yourself to do that to yourself.
Right.
Like my job is to entertain you in a setting like that, then why wouldn't I care?
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
how
we're
can you not watch yourself?
We're constantly, instead of going out there and go, man, my match was fucking perfect. Like, no. I'll sit down and just dissect everything and be like, nope, that was shit. That was shit. That was shit.
I mean, there have been times where I've had shows and I was like, dude, we fucking slugged.
Right.
It was so good. We were just
Once in a while,
at least like from my perspective,
dude,
it was really, really, really good.
there are those times.
There have been others.
Right. So, like, if
He's
you
talking about the shows he played with me.
I don't even remember. Those are so long ago, I don't even remember what they
He
were
doesn't
like.
remember them because they were so bad.
So, like, again, though, like, if you really think that you're the fucking best, like, I don't know. To me, I always tell new students, like, if you go out there and you're not learning something new every time, then you're not getting better. Like, I think even as a musician or as an entertainer, sometimes you can go out there and like, what could I add to the show? You know, my playing's got it. I got this down perfect.
I think there's definitely like there's a fine line between like overconfidence and having a spine and a backbone
Yes.
that is required to be in front of people and to competently do something
Right.
of some skill. Yeah, I mean, you should be confident
For
in
sure.
doing it, but also like, you know, understand, like you said, how to learn and improve as you go by
Right.
doing it.
Right.
Yeah.
Being mindful of it while also still like enjoying it, because otherwise what the fuck are you doing?
Exactly.
When I first started in whatever, we don't want to say when, it dates me a little bit, but there was not really a scene, I guess. You know, I'm talking about just the metal scene. There was really no metal scene, and then it was kind of more like a cover scene, which it still kind of is in the Quad Cities. You know, I
some
just
metal
think.
band. They're like sort of just alt rock.
Oh yeah, no, there was a hardcore. There was
There was kind of a little bit of a
why am I
hardcore scene.
blanking?
Always how it is.
Provoke?
Provoke, brother. Great band, actually, live. I mean, they were really good. But they played
remember
with
it's like old school, man.
with us,
Cool
who was
band.
our freaking cover band, you know.
Yeah.
But the scene grew, right? And then you had some bands that were actually doing some legit originals. I remember a band called Aphasia. You guys remember that band?
Yes.
I've heard.
Oh,
I do.
man.
I remember.
That Gothenburg sound.
Yeah.
You know, and they were legit guitar players.
straight
And it was
up
the
were-
first time me and Derek showed up and we seen these two guitar players playing solos in sync well.
Yeah.
And it was
Which
legit.
is
No.
so basic.
Yeah.
We were like little kids. You're like, oh, they're actually doing it.
Dude was wearing an
my
In Flames
God.
shirt with
Yeah.
like a button up underneath it. Like, I was like, you're fucking on stage, bro? What the fuck?
And he killed it.
Yeah,
And
he
I love
did,
that
dude, he
band.
did.
And you know, and they were also trying to do some different singing stuff where
Yeah.
the guys would do a scream and then we sing. And I was very
They were-
envious of
They
that
were actually
because
trying stuff.
They were. They,
my
were,
God,
they
yeah,
weren't
yeah,
afraid.
yeah,
they
yeah.
weren't
Going
afraid.
for it.
They weren't afraid to try stuff that a lot of
Right.
bands weren't doing.
Lyndon joined. There was a little bit of a scene. I'm not saying it was big,
Vaguely, I
but
didn't really
I think
know
it might
besides
have.
playing.
The scene, the metal scene in the Quad City comes and goes, and it seems like now. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's the best it's been in a long time. It just seems like you have
Locally?
a lot of buddy bands that play together and
In the Quad Cities, I don't know. I'm really honestly, I just can't say I'm not sure. There are a handful of bands we're friends with that are good.
yeah.
But as far as like an active, there's not really. It doesn't seem like there's a hugely active like DIY scene. It's it's booked at venues again because there are venues in town again, and
That's what I'm saying.
who runs
There's
those?
venues
Is it
in town. Is what I was getting at.
I don't know.
Oh man, I get invited to shows all the time. He's a pro wrestling fan and also was in a band. And I think he promotes the fuck out of a lot of metal shows and hardcore shows still. And
Yeah.
he's always inviting them to me, and they're always the same fucking date as SCW
And we need more of
shows.
you guys.
Like, damn.
I don't know. I think regionally and like between like Iowa and Illinois and like Wisconsin and Minnesota, there's a lot of really cool bands, and like there's bands that are doing stuff together back and forth. I mean, we're gonna meet up with a lot of bands we've been wanting to do stuff with at the cookout thing, and
Yeah.
I want to book more shows with this band they're from Wisconsin called Celestial Serpent. And they're just like
That's another cool
legit-
name,
They're
man.
cool as fuck. We're playing. Oh, Sam Kester.
Yeah, dude.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
dude.
yeah. He runs the River City
Yeah, dude. Always.
He's the one that's putting on the Lich King show that we're playing.
Okay, see, there it is. There it is.
Small
And
world.
he's the one,
Dude.
He's the one that booked us with Violet's Murder and stuff.
You know what's hilarious
all that.
is like the first time I met him, he was at an AAW show in Chicago dressed as Macho Man. And I'm like, we have shows back home. He's like, wait, what?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, SCW shows. Like, I didn't know that. And I was like, so you're driving 3 hours to a wrestling show. You had no idea we had a local scene too?
Right.
I mean, that would say something about how that shit's promoted.
Exactly.
Promoted here.
True.
Yeah.
Very true.
Fucking
Not one plug.
if you're doing
on
shit-
2 episodes, Shug, of his own shows.
man, if you're doing shit and you want people to come, fucking tell people.
Yeah, you
God
got
damn
to,
it.
man.
Like,
You got to.
it's-
You have a Halloween shirt on right now.
Hoodie.
Hoodie. Just very Shug. And we'd be remiss if we don't talk about horror. Because both
John Carpenter's.
Shug and I mean, you're not like
Oh, Lyndon's into horror, man.
no,
Yeah,
no.
you got into it
than
big time.
Than I ever used to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just like I know more
I
because
would be-
my ex girlfriend was she was really into it.
She literally, that's all she
She's
puts on her Facebook
fucking
still.
Horror elitist. Yeah.
I never heard that term. I like that. Horror elitist. That's pretty cool. That would just
Yeah.
that would be
She
you.
watches some obscure like B horror too, like stuff that
Yeah,
people,
yeah.
and then it'll like bring it back to you
Like
when
a
you're a
literal
kid. You're
movie
like,
about bees
oh
that kill
shit, I
people.
remember
she
that
was,
fucking
she was really
movie.
into like the making of movies and stuff in that sense too. Like
Yeah.
So that was
yeah.
like
Well,
she
and that's an
introduced
art.
me to a lot of stuff that because I was not exposed to a lot of horror really as a kid. So so yeah, I know a lot more horror now and I have a better appreciation for it than I ever did.
So, I think we should say, keeping to the theme, let's put over a horror movie.
Just one?
Just right now, and then you can expound on whatever horror movie as much as you want. I'm not going to talk too much about this one,
Right.
but it's my favorite, so I'm going to put over the Event Horizon, Event Horizon, which is my favorite horror movie. Now, that, in a sense, is not necessarily...
Oh yeah,
That's a straight up horror. movie.
Sci-fi. It's sci-fi
this
horror.
is a
Sci-fi
good,
horror,
this is a
man.
good, okay.
That's-
So what really sucks about this is that horror is its own genre, but thriller, and you have subgenres of
I would
whatever.
put thriller outside of horror.
Okay, so horror is that all encompassing?
Hunt for Red October is a thriller.
Right.
Yeah, but is horror? Is it like you just say metal music?
No, there's kind of subgenres with horror as well.
That's what I'm getting at. There's subgenres of metal,
Yeah,
right?
I would say like horror is a subgenre as metal, or is a genre as metal is, and then it splinters off.
Exactly.
But what's like the main basis is that you can say scary movie. I mean that.
Yeah,
No,
well,
just
that's
say
what
horror.
that's
Okay,
horror.
so horror.
Okay.
But
So
like
would
layman's
Event
terms.
Horizon be a horror?
Yeah.
Yes, definitely for sure.
I don't know. So to me,
Sci-fi. It's sci-fi horror. It's Alien.
Yeah.
You ever heard of those movies?
Yeah.
of course.
Aliens
No,
are
I'm
sci-fi
saying,
horror.
so to me, why was it so horrifying? And it's really easy to me. I hate space, right?
That's scary enough.
I just think about space and I go, if I was in a ship, I would just kill myself instantly. Like it wouldn't even be a movie. It'd just be like, oh, there's a guy. Look, put it, bam! He shot himself in the fucking head instantly.
And then if we find
Because I found out I was in
space. It's like the end of The Mist, but
Okay.
the whole rest of the movie didn't happen.
So anyway, and then the second is that you're in space and it's haunted. It's like not necessarily haunted. It gets a little deeper than that, but
Yeah,
it's just
definitely.
it's so. To me, two things that just if you added tornado and you added
Well, there almost is because there's like a storm
Right.
on Neptune
Yeah.
that's like affecting because it's like and it makes Neptune creepy.
look at the memory on Lyndon. I'm like, oh, you just brought that back.
No,
man, as soon as
I was
wrote-
super into
yeah.
Event Horizon. Like I like
That movie's
I love
great.
the movie and I love sci-fi horror is like my favorite.
Yeah,
Like
that kind of
horror's
like
not my favorite, but
subgenre.
if I was gonna pick, like the Thing, because the Thing is gonna be my
Yeah, dude, the Thing's great.
Oh, okay.
To me, that's the ultimate. But,
Which the thing?
John
well,
Carpenter's
the John
on.
Carpenter.
Okay,
one,
the
yeah.
original.
No, that's
Which
actually
is
a remake.
the original? Okay, I did
remake.
look this up by the way. So
It is a remake. There is a black and white version of the Thing
yeah,
that was in the original Halloween.
The Thing, it's the Thing from
my
Another
God,
World.
here we go.
The Thing from Another World is what it's called.
Yeah.
So what gets
Anyways,
your goat about the
Well,
thing?
I was gonna say first Event Horizon, like what you were talking about is what I was thinking about too, and that's like it's the perfect to me. Next to the Thing, Event Horizon is the perfect sci-fi horror because you have it's the horror is like interdimensional.
And it also was because
right.
the
But
Sci-Fi
it's-
Channel played it every fucking day.
It's
for
just
years.
like, but it's just like Doom.
Yeah.
Like hell is its own dimension.
Right.
Hell is infinite. It's this hellish.
I feel like where they
terrifying,
went, they
like,
didn't need
version of
eyes to
universe.
see. I don't know. I could be wrong. Eyes to see.
But then the thing is my favorite just because it's so much of that movie is about paranoia.
Exactly.
And not trust, just not trusting people, and it could be the movie throws you into that, makes you go, there's anybody, it could be anybody.
Yeah.
And
Right.
and just then when you add in like the natural element, because it's just a creature, it's
Okay.
just a thing.
So
Can adapt.
catch me up a little bit. I'm the bitch. Kurt Russell, right?
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Keith
We're on the same
David?
page.
Yep.
And again, that movie, I didn't get to see all the way through. I still have to watch that all the way through. I think that was one I shut off.
They did a prequel. They did a prequel as
And
well.
it was actually really cool. The effects were dumb, but the story was cool. Like,
Yeah, because
the
it
way
led
lined up.
to that movie.
Yeah, the end of it, like literally, so it's like it's one of the coolest prequels because it ends with the intro music from the original.
Yeah,
film, and
dude.
it's like the same from a movie from like 19.
Spoiler
I
alert,
remember what
but yeah.
year it came out.
Right.
Whatever. If you don't know,
I never got to
if
the
you don't
end.
know, fuck you.
Hey.
Watch the thing.
Yeah.
Segue.
Yeah.
There's a guy in the prequel that's from Bettendorf, Iowa.
Really?
Yeah. He quit. You know the guy because he went and played in the Dumb and Dumber fucking prequel.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's the same guy.
He actually worked at Rhythm City as a
He
valet
ends up being the
attendant.
one with the two faces that they find. He's the blonde-haired guy.
Oh.
He was in Not Another Teen Movie.
Bro, as soon as the
Like, you
fucking
know who he is.
spider thing came out with the
Beer fest.
head, the spider head,
Yeah,
I
that
was
thing-
like,
Yeah, it was in
oh,
the, it was
yeah.
in the old one.
Yeah.
I love it.
dude, so
that
good.
fucked
Those
me up.
practical effects
Yeah.
were so fucking cool.
That's one
Like,
of the best. That's one of the best fucking lines in that whole movie. Is that the head starts crawling away, and the guy just goes, "You're fucking kidding me!" Like that, and the line from Predator. Those are like
Oh,
the two
yeah.
best movie lines ever. Is
oh yeah, some of those ones you can't even.
So what do you
repeat
call
anymore.
Predator?
It's sci-fi horror.
no, I wouldn't call it horror.
Well, it's actually sci-fi action.
yeah,
then.
it's an action.
It's not a horror.
Even though it doesn't have a lot of action in it, it's got like one or two major action scenes.
Yeah.
But it's not horror. I wouldn't call Predator.
But there's jump scares though in it. Like
not really.
yeah, like where they kind of made it to where, especially like when
they built
when
it
they
up.
catch them, and that's super loud. As a kid, you jump like, what
Yeah.
the fuck?
I guess you could consider it technically more of a sci-fi horror because there's more of a stalker aspect to it.
Right.
But I don't know. I never thought of Predator as a horror.
It's definitely action for sure.
Because then you watch Predator 2.
Yeah.
Call that a horror movie.
Oh
Right,
no,
man.
that's full blown action movie.
Oh, it's so fucking good.
Yeah,
Bill
one of the great-
Paxton's been killed by the Predator, Alien, and Terminator.
Oh, and real life, unfortunately.
And then, wow,
It's us all. The real horror movie, brother.
the boogeyman comes for us all.
All right, Shug, your turn,
So
Mr. Horror.
obviously, I'm wearing it, and I have way more of these than I do of any T-shirt, which I found out the other day when I was looking through everything. I even have the Boogeyman T-shirt on underneath this. John Carpenter's Halloween, the original Halloween, and I put this over because, no joke, if I have a fucking nightmare. There are times that I still have nightmares about Michael Myers, and I'm trying to fight him, and it just doesn't fucking work. So, like, he's always been scary to me as a kid. Like, I've had, like, straight up real bad horror, like, real bad nightmares about him. But
you know what Michael Myers represents?
death.
The unknown.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Yeah.
Why is he doing that? You don't know.
Exactly.
You don't know.
And, like, well, the fact that they, no, hang on. No,
You don't know.
you don't.
You don't know.
But, like, you find
You
out.
don't know.
Well, the reason that his face is.
I mean, don't give me the expanded lore.
Oh yeah, no, I'll go with that. No, you're right.
I mean,
I'm not gonna do
whoa,
it.
The Halloween. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't mean to like cut you off, but for me, Halloween is like one movie, and that's it. And
Yeah,
then
I'll just go
Halloween
with that.
3 that is
Oh.
like totally its own thing.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
But, like, I can't deal with any.
There's so many timelines right now.
yeah,
like,
I hate it so much.
So if
that
you
first movie is just perfect.
Yeah, it was so
It's
good.
just perfect.
the
Yeah.
original idea, the Halloween title was actually supposed to be an anthology, so that was going to be its one story.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then for some reason they decided they were going to
Money.
run with another. Yeah, They were going to run with another Michael Myers story, so they did Halloween
Because
2.
it was the Star Wars of fucking horror movies, slasher movies.
Yeah.
I did watch the movies that made us. They did a really good thing about it, and it had John Carpenter on there.
Yeah.
And he wrote the soundtrack.
Yeah,
As a
he does all the
musician,
music, dude.
Oh, I respect you so much,
Dude, I
John
listen to his
Carpenter,
stuff on Spotify.
Yeah.
Like, he has these unreleased tracks on Spotify, and they're fucking awesome.
a legit
That's
musician.
like all he wants to do now.
Yeah.
He's
Dude, he plays live. Like, he does live shows and shit. It's fucking
That's awesome,
awesome.
man. That's awesome.
Do you remember the Ghost of Mars? Did you
Yeah.
see that
Oh,
movie?
yeah. I remember.
So I hope he keeps playing music. I hope he keeps playing
Yes.
music. Because fuck his new movies. They're terrible.
Right. But like
Shit.
his music is fucking awesome. Like I mean shit, there's there a lot of people who do horror now trying to throw back to like a lot of his movies. Like this movie that was really obscure and fucking weird called The Void. The soundtrack was even like almost kind of a throwback to John Carpenter's stuff too in a way.
Because I was surprised it wasn't him.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah, dude, it sounded so like
I really liked that movie. I wanted it to be more like The Thing, and it wasn't.
no, it was definitely more trippy and weird kind of, but like kind of cool. John Carpenter's just made some of the coolest movies, and they don't have to be straight up horror either. Because like some of them are like,
Well, Escape from New York.
yeah,
I mean,
dude,
that's,
fucking
I always
amazing.
forgot. For years, I'd forget that was him.
Yeah,
But then you watch the like the opening credits and hear
Yeah.
like, you see him at like this like shitty like Juno like fucking rolling keyboard and
That's Kurt Russell too, right?
yep.
Yeah.
All right, so casual movie fans.
So like, no, John
Russell's the
Carpenter,
fucking man.
Yeah.
John Carpenter worked with with Kurt Russell plenty of times. Apparently the first thing that John Carpenter ever shot was like an Elvis movie with
That's what I
Kurt
heard.
Russell playing
Made for
Elvis.
TV movie or
yeah.
something.
really?
No, yeah, for real. That was the first
Was it
movie.
dog shit?
I don't
know. Like nobody cares about it. Like I don't know
No.
if it wasn't good or not. It was just like a thing he got hired to do.
Right.
I
might
feel
be
like
wrong
it's
about
it's
that.
just the scene when Elvis is fat as shit and he's
Nope.
dying on the toilet, taking a huge shit.
Dude, that'd be so
and that's
funny.
Kurt Russell.
That
just
would-
like
Dude, how great would it be to troll like just like you make a movie right, and it's an Elvis biopic?
Yeah.
Well, like you never see it in the trailers, but like the movie starts off with him like convulsing on the toilet and he's like shitting all over himself. And then it flashes and it goes into like his backstory.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And then every time it goes back to him, like he's like more and more dead. You know? He's like,
We need to make this movie.
that's an
Let's make
abominable
it's like the rest of the movie is totally serious, except for when he's shitting himself on the toilet.
Let's make this movie.
And,
God.
And then there's no ending credits.
It's made tomorrow.
It's just like fuck you, and then the movie's over.
Yeah.
We're gonna wrap this up. This has been episode 3. I think we can call it
What was it?
Smoked chocolate.
Yes.
Smoked Chocolate.
That's it.
Smoked Chocolate. And
Smoked
on top
chocolate
of that,
and his merry men.
what do you guys got going on soon again? We're gonna plug it. Go ahead, Lynn.
March 23rd, Pittlord's playing Beer Stube in Moline, or Black Hawk Room in Moline, same place. Fucking whatever. With Lich King. It's go to our Pitlord Barbecue at Bandcamp and our Facebook and stuff. And Forge Master, look for Forge Master on Facebook. Obsidian Hammer, those are all 3 bands I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
And Frontal Assault from Cedar Rapids, find them. Look for the Cannibal Cookout Jamboree. Go to my Facebook or Pitlord Facebook for all that stuff.
Hell yeah. And Shug?
Well, my next match is March 19th for AAW at the Logan Square, Chicago area. Might be a suburb, but it's the Logan Square in Chicago for AAW. I'm wrestling Stephen Wolf, so I'm stoked for that.
Hell yeah. Like and subscribe and click the Patreon down below. Support us through the Patreon and put some brothers over, brothers and sisters. Thank you.